Hello and welcome to this session. This is Professor Farhat, in which we will discuss the child tax credit or the family/child tax credit. And the rules that we will be discussing today are under the new One Big Beautiful Act of 2025. But the first thing we want to know is, what's the purpose of this tax credit? Well, this tax credit is designed to help families with cost of raising children. It's called the child tax credit. It means it's giving if you have a child. Now there's another tax credit for dependent. We'll talk about that briefly, but the main idea of this family/child tax credit is to help families raise children, provide financial assistance to qualifying taxpayers. Not for anyone. You have to be a qualifying taxpayer. And the whole purpose is to reduce the tax burden, especially for low and middle income families. And all the changes that are made under the One Big Beautiful Bill are made permanent, and they are subject to inflation. In other words, if we mention a number in this year for this particular lecture, keep in mind in future years that number, in other words, the amount of the credit could increase from year to year. It's subject to inflation, just FYI, so don't panic in case you are looking at this recording in the year 2028 or 2029 and the amount changed a little. It's in taxes, amounts are subject to changes, but the rules will stay the same. Let's go ahead and talk about the eligibility, the amount, how do you qualify, so on and so forth. Let's go ahead and get started. Before we proceed any further, I have a public announcement about my company, farhatlectures.com. You are here because you are serious about mastering taxation. Whether you are taking a tax course, studying for the CPA exam, or enrolled agent, tax feels overwhelming, not because it's impossible, but because it's dense, detailed, and often taught at a pace that doesn't match the way you learn. The rules can feel disconnected, and the logic isn't always explained clearly. At Farhat Lectures, we slow it down. We explain the why behind the rules, break concept into simple steps, and rebuild your understanding from the ground up without assuming any prior knowledge. When explanation matches your learning, everything changes. The confusion fades, the rules start to connect, and tax becomes manageable. If you are ready to understand tax with clarity and confidence, start your free trial at farhatlectures.com and let's build your tax foundation together. Let's first look at eligibility requirements and amount. So who's eligible? The child has to be a qualifying child under the age of 17 by the end of the tax year. The tax year is December 31st, which is the calendar year. This includes dependent child, stepchild, grandchild, siblings, nieces, and nephews. Child must be a U.S. citizen or a resident alien. It means they have a green card or they're a U.S. citizen. Now, under the new One Big Beautiful Act, both the child and at least one of the parent, at least one, must have a valid social security number. Now, obviously, if you are claiming someone and you're head of a household, that someone, that individual, must also have the valid social security number. So those are the general rules for eligibility. For the amount is $2,200 per qualifying child. It increased from $2,000. On top of that, up to $1,700 is refundable. Now, what does it mean, refundable versus non-refundable? Refundable credit means if we say this tax credit is refundable, and not all, very few tax credit are refundable, and this is one of them. Refundable means even if your liability is zero, and if you qualify, the government will give you the money. They will send you a check even if you owe no taxes. This is what refundable is. Non-refundable means what it does, it will reduce your liability down to zero, and once you no longer have a tax liability, you don't get money back. The child tax credit of the $2,200 tax credit, $1,700 of it is refundable, and what's the remaining? The remaining is $500 non-refundable. We'll work in a few examples to show you this, but it's very important to understand there are certain tax credit that are refundable. Child tax credit is one of them. Earned income credit is another one. Those are refundable credit. And this amount, these rules made permanent an index for inflation. 500 non-refundable credit for other qualifying dependent, which we will see who they are in a moment. Now, as always, in everything in taxes, Congress is generous to a point. What do I mean by that? Families will start to lose some of that $2,200 credit. But before we start talking about losing the credit, the first thing we have to know is you have to have earned income as a family. You have to earn at least $2,500 to qualify. So this is, if you want the refundable portion, to be more specific, you cannot have no earned income. So you cannot just not have any work and claim the refundable credit. You have to work and earn $2,500 to get to the refundable portion, which is $1,700. But here's what's going to happen. Once a family reaches $400,000, any amount above that, if your AGI or modified adjusted gross income is more than that, for every $1,000 you would lose $50. So if your modified adjusted gross income or adjusted gross income is 410, you are 10,000 above the limit. And 10,000 have 10, because 10,000 divided by 1,000 is 10, times 50, you already lost. Your credit is 2,200 minus 500, because your credit will start to go down up to a point where you have nothing. So the point, why do we do this? Because they don't want you to have a cliff, basically lose the credit all at once. You would lose your credit little by little, and at some point you would lose your credit altogether. Now, this is for married filing jointly. If you are single, head of household, married filing separately, the credit will start much earlier at 200,000, and for every 1,000, simply put, for every additional 1,000 you would lose 5%, because 50 over 1,000 is 5%. You would lose 5% of the credit. So when we talked about other dependent, the 500 non-refundable, the family credit for qualifying dependent applies to children age 18 through 23 who are full-time students. You can get 500 non-refundable credit. Applies to elderly parent if you are claiming them as dependent. This is the 500 non-refundable credit. Again, subject to phase out, which are the same rules as the child tax credit, the numbers that I showed you earlier. Now let's take a look at few examples. Let's take a look at few examples to illustrate the child tax credit. We have a single parent with an adjusted gross income of 213 and one child age 5. So we have one child, the child qualify. What's special about this number 213, 200? It's above the 200,000. So what we can say is we start with the base limit of 2,200 for the child, then we compute we are above the limit by 13,200. We'll take 13,200 divided by 1,000. For every 1,000 we have 13.2. You always round up to 14. It means you are going to be losing $1,450 of the credit. $1,450 is 700. The final credit is 2,200. We start at 2,200 minus the 700, 1,500. Now, how much of that is refundable? All of it is refundable, because remember, you can get refundable up to 1,700. So the full 1,500 is refundable. So this single individual, single parent, even if they have no tax liability, as long as they worked, obviously, and they earned 2,500, which they earned more than 2,500, they can get $1,500. Let's take a look at example 2. Again, single parent, AGI 92,000, 3 children, 6, 10, and 11. So the first thing is there's no limitation here because they're below 200,000. For each child, what's the credit? 2,200. The tentative is 6,600. Well, that's the AGI is way below the limit of 200,000. No reduction applies. The final credit is 6,600. You might be asked, how much of it is refundable? How much of it is non-refundable? Once again, be careful. 500 of it is non-refundable. For each child, 3 times 500 is 1,500. And the remainder, which is 1,700 times 3, is 5,100 that is refundable.
Let's look at example 3. Married filing jointly, AGI 407,368, and 2 children, 13 and 16. What is the base? The tentative credit is 4,400. However, this couple, they earned more than 400,000. How much more? 7,368. Remember, the limit is, let me show you the limit one more time on the screen so you can see the limit one more time right in front of you. 400,000. This is where the phase out began. Therefore, you know where that number is coming from. And that number might change from year to year, which is not a big deal. We're 7,368. If we'll divide this by 1,000, we'll get 7.368, round up to 8. We're going to be losing $850, which is we're going to be losing $400. So the final credit is 4,400 minus 400 equal to 4,000. Now, how do we determine what's refundable and what's not from the 4,000? There's a formula we have to go through. And basically what you do is you will take the refundable portion is 15% of the excess amount. So we're going to take 15% times the earned income. And we're going to assume that this full amount is earned income. Then we subtract from this earned income 2,500. Why do we subtract 2,500? Remember, you have to make 2,500 for the earned income to kick in. Then what you do is you'll take this amount minus 2,500 and you multiply it by 15%. Now obviously if you'll take this amount, whatever that is, 407,368 minus 2,500 times 15%, it's going to be way more than 3,400. Why? 3,400 is the max because the refundable is 1,700 for each person times 2. They have 2. So the max refundable is 3,400. However, the reason they want you to do this is this. As let's assume this couple adjusted gross income was lower and somehow it give you a number lower than 3,400 from the earned income, then you have to use the lower number, because remember, you have to use earned income, and this is important. We have earned income and we have unearned income. What does that mean? Okay, AGI here is 407,368. That's perfectly fine. Now of this amount, we could only have, for example, I'm just going to make up this number, which it could be, but it doesn't matter. We're going to assume that only 20,000 is W-2 wages, and the remainder of this amount is dividend, interest, other stuff. So the only earned income, which is unearned income, portfolio income, 20,000. Then what we have to do, then we have to plug the 20,000 here. So let's do the math now and see what would happen if we take 20,000. Then we'll take out 2,500. They don't give you any credit for it. What's left here is 17,500 multiplied by 1.5, and that will give you 2,625. Therefore, your credit will be 2,625. So that's why we have to use this formula. Again, in the question, look for how much of the AGI is earned income. Remember, we have earned and unearned income. You have to use the earned income. Therefore, in this situation, we have a refundable of 3,400 and non-refundable, the remainder is 600 because the total credit is 4,000. Let's take a look at this example. Married filing jointly with an AGI of 133.98 and one child age 12. Okay, what's the base credit? 2,200. Are they below the threshold? They're way below the threshold, 400,000. No limitation apply. How much is the credit? 2,200. How much is it as refundable? 1,700. How much of it non-refundable? 500. So this is the simplest. I should have started with this one, but it doesn't matter. You need to know it inside out. Let's take a look at this multiple choice question from farhatlectures.com. Which of the following is a new eligibility requirement added under the One Big Beautiful Act under President Trump? Is it the child must be under age 19? I hope you know they have to be under the age of 17, so that's not a new rule. Both the child and at least one parent must have a valid social security number. Yes, this is what was added for the child tax credit. The child must be a full-time student? No, they don't. That's not for the child tax credit. That's for the dependent. They have to be a full-time student, but that's not new eligibility. Both parents must file jointly? No. Married filing separately is allowed. Now be careful. Married filing separately is not allowed for the earned income credit. Just FYI, we're going to see it down the road. Now, if you're answering this question on Farhat lectures, you could always ask the AI to explain the topic for you, the eligibility under the One Big Beautiful Bill, explain the correct and incorrect answer further, and if you're interested and you want to practice this concept further, ask AI to create another MCQ about this lecture to help you reinforce what you just learned. What should you do? Whether you are a student, CPA exam candidate, enrolled agent, the best investment you can make is invest in yourself. Go to Farhat lectures, look at additional MCQs, AI tools, lessons, podcasts, exercises that will help you. Invest in yourself, and God bless.